All right, so be whole. That'd be great. All right, so go ahead and get into whatever meditative position works best for you this evening. And we'll see if we can't play with the word be whole. If you're sitting straight up or laying down, that's fantastic. Whatever works best for you. We're going to get in touch with our breathing as it is so important. I'm going to take 3 very slow, deep inhalations. Hold for a slow count of 8. Exhale for a slow count of 8. Once I've done that 3 times, we'll go ahead and get started. As you continue to breathe, bring forward any tension that might reside between your ears, in your cheeks, down through the jaw, any tension that may be in your neck. Relax over the shoulders, down your arms, over the elbows. Just let that tension drain from the palms of your hands and just breathe. Be mindful of any tension that might reside between the shoulder blades, any heaviness in the chest, the abdomen, your lower back, down through the hips. Relax the legs, over the calves, and just let any remaining tension drain out of the bottoms of your feet, and just breathe. This morning I had the opportunity to go out onto the kayak and paddle my way, as I do from time to time, and to this channel that's out on the lake. Right now the American lotus is in full bloom, and as I came around the corner, I was able to paddle amongst 1,000 blooming lotus flowers. The water was completely still. The sky was perfectly blue, not a cloud, not even a breeze. And as I sat there in that stillness, I thought at the moment, my gosh, how can life be any better than this? How can I be even more whole than I already am? And then my mind began to wander, as it does. Take a moment, if you will, and imagine yourself sitting in the middle of the lake, an open lotus flower gently floating on top. Feel the gentle motion of the waves. Feel the weightlessness of sitting on top of the water. Imagine the warm sun above as it kisses each petal, the blue sky as it surrounds you, the cool lake water below you. And just take a moment and sit there and float. And just breathe. As a lotus flower, this is the peak time which you bloom. Gorgeous white petals are open, outreach to the sun, beautiful yellow center, the green pads all around. And you might imagine for just a moment that you are now whole. You're whole and complete. Exactly what you're supposed to be. And just breathe. But gently below us is a stem, a soft, silky stem that spirals downwards into the depths of the water. The lotus stem travels down and down until it eventually reaches the silt below. And below that lies the roots of the lotus, from which it gathers its nutrients, it gathers its beginning. And the roots, as they travel into the mud, to the depths, the decaying material all around, the material of flowers that have come and gone in the past. And so with your roots and your stem and your fully blossoming flower above, you may be whole. And just take a moment, just floating there, living within the water, and just breathe. Those roots gather nutrients from the ground below, all the decayed material of that which has come before. The ground below is made up of leftover sunshine, of leftover rain. The other floral and fauna that reside within the lake. So the lotus flower, as it spreads out, is just a small piece of the lake as it is. The lake as it stretches out. You being one of hundreds and thousands of other lotus flowers, together collectively becoming one whole, a part of a whole lake ecosystem. And just breathe. As a lotus flower, you're a part of that lake, part of the peace and the quiet, part of the beauty and the stillness that makes that lake what it is. And that lake sits amongst the mountains surrounding it, collects the water from the creeks that trickle in from all sides. The underground water springs from below. So as that lotus flower is a part of the lake is a part of the landscape, a refuge for water within the mountains, that which comes about from melting snow. And as that lake sits amongst the mountains, it seems like that's the whole picture. And just breathe. But as that lotus flower is a part of the lake, and the lake is a part of the mountains are a part of the land that surrounds it. As each mountain has a ridge line that reaches slowly outwards in all directions, each ridge line flattens out and smooths out as you get further and further away. And now that lotus flower that resides in the lake that resides within the mountains which reside within the landscape, continues to spread outwards. In one direction there may be forest. In another direction it may end up being desert. In another direction you may come to the ocean. And as you spread out wider and wider, that lotus flower, piece of the lake, it's part of the mountains, stretches from sea to sea, over forests, deserts, fields of open grass, till it reaches the oceans and continues to spread outward. And just breathe. And as the oceans roll underneath the sun, the water begins to evaporate. And soon there's just a single drop of water collects within the clouds above. Imagine that cloud with a single drop of water as it gently floats across the sky. See the shadow of that cloud as it travels across the ocean, approaches land. As the cloud gets closer and closer to the land, it begins to lift, and soon will release that single drop of rain. As that drop of rain falls upon the mountain, it slowly drips off a nice green leaf. Drops into a little creek, slowly travels down the creek, that gently rolls into the lake, and eventually finds its way back to you, the lotus flower that sits on top, and just breathe. Just take a couple minutes and relax. Imagine yourself being that flower floating on top of the water, under the blue sky and the sunshine. And just breathe. Now, as it feels right, gently bring yourself back to the group. Take a slow, deep, cleansing breath. Thank you, Julia, and thank you to everybody. Beautiful as always. Go ahead and let's get settled in. This evening we imagine the wholeness of being just a flower, and yet the wholeness as it continues outwards. Whether it's today or tomorrow, whether we feel whole at any given moment, may we recognize that each and every person that we come across may or may not feel whole. Have a wonderful evening, a great week. Namaste.